Good afternoon. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 2, the rough draft. So I want to share with you that I pulled up this sample paper that's in week 3, and I can tell right away that you followed that very closely when organizing your paper. So kudos to you. That's why they're there. So I'm grateful to see that. I'm going to run through this for you real quick. This is the rubric that's used. And the first thing, if there are, I look to see, are there 4 credible sources? So I come down here and I can see these sources. Um, let's see, this is in the Journal of Biomedics. I can check out where they are. You need to have 7 in total. So this is just preliminary. I'm sure you're continuing to call resources. And then when you're putting them together, it looks like what you've done is use the in-text citation from the UMUC library. What I recommend doing is, let me see if I can do this on here. If you copy, now if I was in my Word program, I would go up and change it to, let's see, no highlighting. I would take the highlight off. Okay, why is it not going back now? So you want to remove the highlighting, and you need to make sure that you have your citations in APA format. So do you see this? There are no highlights. That is double spaced, and the author's last name is out 5 spaces. The rest is indented. So you want to follow that for your citations. And I'll share with you in the rubric that's kind of down at the bottom. I'm kind of jumping around. So you have at least 7, you're working on that, and that they're in APA format. You're not there yet. You need to make sure that you tighten that up just a bit. So let's go back to the nuts and bolts of this. You have an introduction, which is great because it outlines the 3 areas that you're going to use. Now, inside of each of these 3 areas, so these risk for patient falls, cost of patient falls, and then improving safety to decrease them. What I've noticed is that, I'm going to flip between these 2 things. See here, I'm looking to see which studies you've used and how you've integrated them. So I see that you only use 2 studies inside of here to show that first topic of risk for patient falls. You want to try to use as many as possible. And that's part of this, that you synthesize into themes and that you show how one article relates to the findings of other articles. So what I see you've also done is that you're direct quoting each one of these. So I see these direct quotes, and then the APA citation here, a direct quote, page citation here, direct quote. Well, this should be a little further. You want to move that over here, and you want to tell me what source. Is this all one citation? Then move this down to the bottom and keep just one set of quotation marks. Does it begin here and end there? I'm not sure. But what I'm going to direct you to do, or suggest for you to do, is use varied types of citations. So you can paraphrase, or begin with the author's last names, or begin with the year of the author's last names, and therefore you're just doing that direct quote here. These are just 2 different ways to approach it. But you have all direct quotes. So the purpose of a synthesis of literature review is to put it into your own words, but then show where those ideas came from. So you want to mix it up a bit. You want to make certain that you are paraphrasing more than just direct quoting because right now, what it looks like is you just chopped one sentence after another, and the flow between them is a little broken and disordered. So you would strengthen your argument by paraphrasing, showing very clearly how the ideas of one scholar relate to another's. And then you need to include a conclusion and just wrap up what it is that you've understood from these bodies of research. The last thing that I want to share with you is format. So if you go to the example, sorry to go so quickly, this is what an APA style a title page looks like. Now down at the bottom, you would have your name and the course number and so forth. And then you have your title. This is your paper topic. It's a little larger and bold, and it's centered. And then your subtopics are bold, a little bit smaller, and they're centered too. And so did you notice how each of the subtopics had like more than one paragraph? You're not limited to just one paragraph. You want to make certain that you're developing only one concept at a time inside of those paragraphs. And that this is double spaced. There's like the jury is out on that. Some APA citation sources say you only do single space, some say you do double space. So regardless, what you do need to do is have the initial sentence indented and the rest left justified, with the right side open. So that is what I recommend that you do. You want to change this. These need to be centered, and you need to do correct format here, and then vary the type of citations that you're using. Integrate, paraphrase, integrate, use connecting sentences and connecting word structure, and then add a conclusion and use APA citation for your resources. And I look forward to reading your final paper.